Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bravo Tea with a Stay at Home Mom. I'm Erica, and I'm ready to talk all things Bravo. Welcome back, everybody. And on this exciting episode, I have another guest of two guests in a row. I'm so excited, and they are connected. So we have Julia from Color Us Bravo. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I just had Val on the other day
Yeah,
from
Draw
Draw
Me
Me
Bitch.
Bitch. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you and Val collaborate.
So, my name's Julia. I live in Toronto and I'm a Bravo fan. And I started to do rants on Instagram, just of episodes. And I would always, I guess, tag whoever the subject was. And I think that's how Val found me, was probably through a repost. And she followed me and she saw I had a cute little dog. So that's how I followed her back. And then I went on her website and I purchased some things off of her. So, like a coloring book, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the comic, The Amsterdam Scene, which is my favorite scene. I know. So I purchased a bunch of stuff from her. And then when I was coloring the stuff, I would post it and tag her. And then I guess that's when she started to do the weekly subscriptions. And then that's when we teamed up. And so she does the drawings, I do the coloring, the captioning, and the music.
I love that.
Yeah.
And all your stuff is so cool. And I was telling her the other day, I'm terrible at drawing. So I love looking at your guys' drawings. They're so amazing.
I can't draw either, but the coloring, like, I love.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I know. I'm going to have to get you guys to color and sketch me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She surprised me on my birthday 2 weeks ago with like a sketch of myself.
I saw that. That was so cute.
It was. And I knew exactly what picture it was because the way that the espresso martini was falling out of the glass. Like, I knew what picture it was that she used as a reference.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a picture that I took like a day after I came back from Greece. It was like, I know that picture.
Oh, that's so cool. I know she said that she had sent Erica Jane one and she tagged her and she said that was when she was going through all the dramatic court stuff. And I was like, you could have been in there being the sketch artist in the courtroom. That would have been good. We need a Bravo fan in here to portray this.
I know, it's so true. They're so biased.
I know. Well, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite show on Bravo is?
Oh, that's hard because I really do like all the Real Housewives. I mean, I watch every single Bravo show. I'm gonna have to say Beverly Hills just because it's iconic, and I mean, there's always key players on that show, and that's kind of just how I started watching the Housewives. And it's funny how I started to watch the Housewives because I went to go visit a friend in Quebec, so I had a long train ride home. And she's like, you should watch it. Like, I think you like it. And at that point, I just was like, not really. Then I kind of flirted with the idea later on. And then I was hooked. And then now I just watch everything.
Oh my God, that's so funny. During the pandemic, my one friend, I was like, you need to watch a Bravo show. So I'm going to give you Vanderpump to watch. So she binged the whole thing. And now she's current caught up. And I've had her come on and recap Vanderpump. But I'm like, all right, now I need to dip your toe into other ones. She does Vanderpump. Oh, and Summer House. And I'm like, you need to do some Housewives ones too.
Yeah. I find that because Buying Beverly Hills came out, a lot of people are watching that on Netflix. And then I found a lot of people were reaching out to me that I know. And they're like, should I watch Beverly Hills? Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I'm like, yeah, you have to.
What did you think about Buying Beverly Hills?
This season? I don't know. It was hard to kind of watch Maurizio. I felt bad. He's just having a breakdown. You know,
he gave us more than Kyle did, though. Honestly, on Real Housewives. So that's why I was like, "Oh, this show's good," and all the daughters and stuff. And I was like, "They're giving us more," because I know it can be challenging to be on these shows. You do kind of want a personal life, and if you have a family, but you kind of sign up to show us your personal life. So when she was not really saying anything all season, and I don't know how you feel about Morgan Wade, but I'm like, I think she's more than your friend.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But I just don't know why they're not really coming out with it or the truth of it, but I just think there is a lot of clickbait out there, which when me and Val went on an Instagram live last, I
Mhm.
basically said, I've been seeing articles with like this rhetoric that they're not allowed to come back unless they tell us what happened. So it was
Yeah.
with Kyle and Morgan, and then it was with PK and Dorit. And now look what happened.
With fake Andrea. I know she's like, "Oh, I can't lose Bubba, I can't lose that spot on the show."
Yeah. So like, so maybe it's not clickbait. Like,
Yeah, I could tell they were, like, probably gonna be the next to separate just because he was so over the, like, PTSD talks, which is I get it, that's insensitive, but like I said to my husband, I think she should move out of that house. I think that's a big
oh yeah,
problem. Like, that I could never get over the trauma if I'm still in that house.
it's true. It's so true. Especially just like say walking by certain parts of whatever
Yeah,
happened, like it's always just there.
yeah, I would have to leave, but you could tell that did change her because she seemed different this season.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I feel like she's more aloof. Like she's always been aloof, but
Yeah,
like she was offending everybody. And I just like, I just think she is in her own world because of like the trauma, and
yeah.
which is fine. But maybe she does need like a break. Maybe she needs to take a step back.
Yeah. Well, I think they're all gonna be single now. Isn't that wild? Because Crystal isn't on the show, so
Oh,
they're all gonna be single ladies. We need
oh
to change
wow.
the title, "The Single Ladies of Beverly Hills."
I know.
Like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know that is crazy. Erica's not. Garcelle's not.
Yeah.
That
Sutton,
oh yeah, true.
Kyle, and now Dorit, and I think they're having somebody else come on. Hopefully, she's single because that would actually be weird if, like, one person's married.
Yeah, I know. And like, who's gonna throw the dinner parties?
Their cast trip could be like a singles cruise or something.
Oh my god.
That'd be funny.
I know. It's like these trips I take. I go on Kentucky tours. So it's
Yeah.
like singles from 18 to 34 years old.
Oh,
Yeah. So
interesting.
yeah. And I kind of love these trips because it almost reminds me of like Below Deck, you know.
Yeah, so I don't really, like, religiously watch Below Deck, like, I'll turn it on now and again, but I had to watch the Jill Zarin episode.
Oh my god.
Did you watch that one?
I did. I felt so bad for the crew,
I know. The one thing though, like, so my husband, used to be in the restaurant business and still kinda dabbles in it, but he's like, "That chef needs a sous chef." Like, he's like, "They have,
Like,
like,
I
10
don't think
different
that.
dietary restrictions, and that poor guy is down there all by himself." Like, you need a sous chef to kinda, like, clean up or, like, prep or just help you, and I thought all the dietary restrictions were, like, a little much.
Oh, yeah, and
They
Jill
all wanted
is
their own
just
separate meal cooked by one person in, like, this tiny ship. It amazes me, like, when they go in their claustrophobic bedrooms too. I'm
I
like,
know. I know
"No."
that I was watching it actually right before this, and it's crazy, like,
Yeah.
they're little quarters, and then you're sharing it with someone.
And see, like, I don't think, like, she told, Jeff Lewis, she was on his podcast, said how much it costs just for the weekend and then how much you have to tip, and she said she did, split it and leave some of the tips, so I was like, "Okay, so you're not actually a freeloading guest, you were paying." All the money they pay, like, I kind
Mm.
of didn't blame her for complaining a little, but then also I was like, "That's why I wouldn't wanna go on the ship." If I had money like that, I'm like, I think I would just wanna stay in, like, the Four Seasons for, like, a week or 2.
Like, okay, so being on a boat, like, you get sea legs and stuff, like,
Yeah,
it's not, like, fun, and then sleeping on it, like, I don't know, you're right, like, I prefer land. Maybe a
yeah,
day trip on a yacht would be nice, but not,
yeah.
like, a few days,
I think that's what I would do, like, go to a hotel and
Yeah,
then rent, like, a big boat like that for a
for,
day.
like, a day, maybe,
'Cause they
like
do spend a lot of money, it's a lot.
I know. I
And
I
I'm like,
I always
literally
think
for all that, you could do something else.
I always think how much like, to rent the yacht for X amount of days, and
And that was
then
a
the
big
tip.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
the tip, and then that was a big one.
yeah.
That was a big boat.
The one that scares me is sailing deck or sailing, yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's like but it's like a little sailboat, I know.
I know, and they're like and everything's falling in the galley. No, 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 no,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
good.
that's not even fun.
Yeah, I know, and they're,
Doesn't
like,
mean
trying to
and
catch
that
the
costs so much
further.
money, I'm like, "No." And then the camera people have to be there, which that's, like, a lot of room.
Oh, yeah, oh my god.
So I'm like, "I don't know how all you people are fitting on here."
I know, it's so true. It's so true.
but on to Summer House. So how
Yeah.
are you feeling about this season?
I think a lot is actually coming out this season, obviously, with Lindsay and Carl, and
Mhm.
also with like Amanda and Kyle, which I mean, we're not surprised. But yesterday's, or yeah, was it? No, Thursday's episode, I was really surprised with Kyle's little breakdown.
I know.
Like, I
I saw
really
like a
was.
post and it was like the immaturity between the 2 of them,
I
and then it was
know.
like a baby crying in the
Yeah.
background,
No, I think
and I was
it's
like,
probably the
"It's true."
same post that we saw. Like, I was
Yeah.
dying.
And I was like, "Oh my god, it's true." Like, honestly, everyone's like, "Oh, we're gonna see Lindsay and Carl fight so much this season," but I'm like, "We're seeing Amanda and Kyle fight equally,
I
honestly."
know, it's so true, and I don't know if she puts up with him, like, the drinking till 4 in the morning, like, he's not 20 anymore, I get it, like, I
I
get where
know.
she's coming from, fine, once in a blue moon, but, like, to me, I just feel like it's every day, and if they live in New York and he's a businessman, like, come on, he's
I know,
definitely,
and, like,
like,
I get it, like, let's say he doesn't really go out during the week, and they are being paid to, like, have fun and be funny on camera, but I was like, "They come home so late," like, on this past episode, they
4 in the
came
morning.
back at 3:28 AM was the timestamp, and they were all so drunk, it was all the guys and Danielle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh,
Like,
she's
I
so
was like,
cringe this
"This is
season.
crazy, how late they come home," and then I'm like, "There's Carl sober coming home that late, that'd be hard to stay out that late sober."
I know.
He must be
I
hitting, like, Red Bulls or something.
Oh, I know, I couldn't stay unless, like, you're just, like, yeah, drinking Red Bulls all night or, like, espresso yeah, espresso, not even martinis because he
Yeah.
doesn't drink.
I know. So I did feel bad the fight that Kyle and Amanda were having because when he brought it up the past week on the boat about like that Loverboy's doing really bad and
I
she was
know.
like I feel like it's like a double-edged sword because do you watch the after show?
No, I don't have
So
access here in
I
Canada.
do like watching it on Peacock. So Paige and Sierra were kind of like talking about how they had the whole talk with Kyle and how they were calling him selfish. Like the only really thing I could side with Kyle is they don't know or understand like Amanda and Kyle would like the numbers on Loverboy.
Yeah,
Like yeah, on paper and from the outside as a friend, you're seeing him just be selfish, being like, "Oh no, Amanda needs to do something for me." It's like, no,
yeah,
Loverboy is an established company that if she would put in less effort and or he'd have to replace her, the company's already losing a lot of money.
yeah.
So it's like, do you wanna let this company that's already going fail or, like,
He's
start a
just
whole new
thinking
company?
numbers, like, like, I
Yeah.
think he's seeing kind of everything flash before his eyes, like his marriage failing, and then thinking like, "Oh my god, if she leave," like, he's just spiraling, I feel like. I
Yeah.
get that part of it, but I mean, what killed me was like, "I'm gonna become a DJ." Like, I
I
didn't
know,
know
but
that there
he kind of has,
Yeah.
which is so that's what they talked about on the after show. Paige and Sierra were like, 6 months has gone by, we haven't seen, Amanda do her bathing suit stuff, but we see Kyle is DJing,
Oh, is
which
yeah, I didn't
that
know.
isn't fair. Yeah, I saw he's gonna DJ somewhere in, like, LA or something, or, like, Venice Beach,
Oh, wow.
and I'm
I
like,
didn't know that
"That
was
is
I
kinda
thought he was
weird."
joking.
I know, I thought he was too, and I'm like, "Alright, we have DJ James Kennedy, I
Oh,
don't think we need you." Like
he wants to be Tiesto.
yeah, like, I could see Amanda and Paige doing the bathing suit thing together. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that would be something cool for them,
Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
and
Big
I think
TMI.
she wants to, like, take the opportunity. She's probably thinking in her brain, like, "Maybe we're not gonna be on Bravo forever."
Yeah.
And maybe people have approached her with doing something, so she's like, "I kinda wanna do something," which she has to say, "Hey, I'm just giving you a heads up, this is gonna take time away from Loverboy, but it also could be something that we can make money on," but it's just scary because it's a could be where
I
his is,
know.
like, currently happening,
I
and
know.
I think his dream is to build Loverboy up and sell it for a lot of money.
Yeah.
So right now is the building phase, so somebody comes along and offers him kinda like how Bethany sold Skinny Girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's his ultimate dream, I think.
Yeah. Just like sell it and live comfortably.
Yeah. So, it is hard sometimes when outsiders that don't fully understand, but
Especially
they're
when you're
supportive.
drinking, like,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
everything's just all and then, like, Paige and Sierra are obviously, like, Amanda's friends, so they're gonna see it from
Yeah.
her perspective too. But yeah, even just Carl, I mean, Danielle and Carl supporting him. And when watching it, I was like, what? Like, Not so much Carl because he's like his boy, but Danielle, I was like, she was like crying for the situation, and I'm like, Why?"
Yeah, it was so funny when Kyle went off to, like, cry in his car, and then Carl was, like, grilling, and Danielle was like, "Yeah, could you imagine your partner not supporting you?" And then Carl's like, "Yeah, no, I can't imagine." Then I'm thinking like, "Yeah, that's like you right now." Like, he's like, "Yeah." Like, he's feel like full, like, picturing himself. Because
I
how
know.
do you feel about when him and Lindsay talk about his lack thereof of
Oh my
like
god, that's literally on my list. Carl's lack of ambition.
yeah.
So, I mean, like, so I'm gonna just kind of, I guess, talk about them as a whole. So seeing from before the season when they break up, and we're
Mhm.
hearing this as fans, you think that Carl did her dirty. Then we go into the season thinking that Lindsay's kind of being a little bit crazy, like with the drinking, the gaslighting, calling him the next Scandival or Sandoval, whatever she was
Yeah,
trying to
that was
do
weird.
with that.
That
Like,
was weird.
there's like no parallel whatsoever, but okay. But I'm also now obviously starting to see like the lack of ambition from him, and
Mhm.
the sobriety thing. Like, obviously there's no issue, but I mean, it's like textbook rule number one in like psychology. Like, if you're in, say, AA, they obviously tell you you can't really date within, you know,
Yeah.
within like people who are still getting help. Like, so why would it be conducive to someone who's trying to practice sobriety? Like, be with someone who enjoys drinking, not just a drink. She obviously likes more than one.
I know, and then it's like, it's weird because the only thing is Carl has always known Lindsay's personality.
That's it.
So I'm kinda like, she's not gonna change her whole personality, and you wouldn't want someone to because you're engaged. Like, you as friends know each other, so
That's
she's
what
gonna be the
bothered me
same.
last season, was that she was not drinking.
Yeah, almost not being herself.
And then I feel like maybe she made up for it at the beginning of the season, which is when they started to have their issues. But like now, this episode, I actually really started to understand, because I watched this episode like 3 times just to like get a different perspective, right? So the
Yeah,
first time, I'm just hearing Carl whine, right? And then like I'm hearing Lindsay activated because I'm not really watching, sometimes just coloring.
yeah.
So then when I actually watched, I saw what was happening. And like, she actually was trying to have a conducive conversation with him.
Yeah.
Like, she actually was.
Well,
And
and I don't like that he's like, "Yo, you're not supporting anything."
that's
Like,
what,
I literally turned to my husband and I was like, "I don't shoot down your things, but we have discussions." It's not just like he comes home, says something, and I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead and do that. Give somebody that money, and that's just fine. We won't have a talk or like weigh the positives and negatives about it." Like, that's weird that he's just looking for total like ass kissing.
yeah, I know. And I mean, that's not a real relation. But the fact that like she even quit drinking in the first place says so much,
Yeah.
because that's not her, like
Yeah.
that's what bothered me about it last season. And then obviously going in this season, we see what's going on. So now I'm kind of obviously seeing how everything is like unfolding, and it makes a little sense why the breakdown of the relationship happened, but I
Mhm.
also see that Carl was not innocent in it all.
I'm almost like team nobody though. I'm like, why
Yeah,
didn't either of you call it off sooner? Do you know what I mean?
they
Like,
waited for
even
the shower
Lindsay,
and
like, I'm
stuff.
like, "Why did you have to wait for him to break up with you?
I know.
You don't seem very happy."
I think she just like, she really, really wants this. And I think she really had it in her head, like, I'm marrying my best friend. And I think the
Mhm.
fairy tale idea kind of got to her,
The
you know?
Lifetime movie, like Paige said.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Her confessionals, it's like
She's the
Paige and
best.
James Kennedy are my
Yeah.
favorite
I
confessionals.
know. I think she's a fan favorite, honestly. Like, I think Paige can do no wrong. And like that's like pretty hard for me. Like, I could always
I
find
know.
something wrong with someone, but Paige, like, she's gold. She's TP gold. And I love her and Craig. They are the
I
best coupling
know.
ever.
We gotta talk about that. So in the previous episode, when the pendulum swung, it said, "You will get engaged in 2024 and he will move." And then she's like, "As he should," which is like funny. But then I always go to the, what is he moving to New York for? Just because you like New York, or
Yeah.
maybe because you don't wanna be that far away from your parents, but it's like, he has a house. He's a lawyer down there. He has his store down there. He films his show down there. So I'm
Yeah.
like, there's like a lot, like if they were doing a positive negative sheet, it's like there's a lot that he would be leaving.
Yeah. No, I know. Like he also has established businesses too, right? Like,
Yeah, whereas hers are kinda like travel businesses.
and are they not endorsements and like just
Yeah, like, so you could do the endorsements or the Amazon Live or her podcast anywhere.
yeah, right? Like
And she tours with the Giggly Squad, so I'm like, you're not even, like, in New York right then and there, and then when you film Summer House, you're not in New York City really, you're in the Hamptons. They show clips now sometimes of them in the city during
like
the
just picking them up
yeah,
like on their way.
but I did just see last night that Paige moved into a new apartment.
Is this the apartment that she got like on this
The one that was,
season?
like, gonna cost more.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't know if this is the specific one,
yeah.
but it definitely looks like it costs more. It's like
Yeah.
bigger, higher ceilings. So I'm like, "Okay, looks like you probably signed that for a year."
Yeah, yeah. So
And I'm
maybe
just like, I'm ready for them to get engaged, and I feel like they need to live together, though.
I know, like
Like, if they get
because
engaged and don't live together, to me, that's even a little weird.
yeah, because how do you know you're gonna like them the rest of your
Yeah, like, maybe they get along so well because they don't see each
like
other.
the distance, yeah, like, you know, so
Yeah.
you tend to miss people more, like, and yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So she's seeing, like, Carl, Lindsay, Kyle, Amanda, like, "Oof,
Just
this is scary," and
across
then
the
I'm like,
hall.
"Maybe that's why she doesn't wanna live with maybe they'll never live together."
Yeah. Hey, if it works.
I know, because
They'll just, like,
Craig is
meet.
actually originally from Delaware, where I'm from, but
Is
he's
he?
from Lewis, Delaware, which is, like, our beach, so he's, like, an hour and 20 minutes from me,
Oh,
but
no
his
way.
parents still live there, and Paige has been there.
Oh, shoot. So, like, he's also, like, you know.
So, yeah, like, that's one point for her, like, if they move to New York, they have family and parents there.
Yeah,
Like, her parents. But they'd have to, like she probably wouldn't wanna live in New York City with a baby, she'd probably wanna live in, like, Long Island.
yeah,
Like
somewhere. Or New
yeah.
Jersey. Like,
Yeah,
Amanda.
I know. How do you feel about that when, like, Kyle and Amanda so that house they were looking at wasn't in New Jersey, it was in the Hamptons.
I know.
Someone dug it up on Zillow, and then they were like, "Oh, like, we never necessarily said we were only looking in New Jersey, like, blah, blah, blah," and I'm like, "No, that would be smart because they could live in it all year, and then while they film Summer House, they
Oh my
could
god,
rent that
down
one
the
out,
street. I know. That's so true.
which they would make a lot of money," but it was, like, a really tiny house.
Oh, yeah. The
It had a
background
big
or the
prop
backyard was bigger than the
yeah.
house.
Yeah, the backyard was huge, so you could build, like, an addition, but I'm like, "That's actually, like, really tiny," but knowing it was in the Hamptons, I was like, "Whoa, you could probably get a lot of rent depending on where it was."
Yeah. Yeah, if it's lakeside, oh my god.
'Cause their house, somebody just posted rents for, like, $40,000.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait, it's the one that they're currently in.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Wait, are they not going to film in that house then? Or do you think they just rent it for the month of June? Because I think they just film, like, July, August."
So, I don't, like, get it. Like, do they rented the whole month and it's just theirs the whole month, or it's just the
Yeah.
weekends of the month?
Yeah, is that wild? I don't think anyone comes during the week.
That's nuts.
That's why, like, honestly see, Kristen Cavallari on her podcast said, "Remember did you watch The Hills?
Oh, a long time ago. Long
Remember when she was, like, renting that house in Malibu? And it was, like, so big and right on the beach, and I was like, "Damn, is she pulling in that kind of money?" So she said MTV rented her that house,
Oh, wow.
and she could only use it when they were filming, so for the whole summer, she only stayed in it, like, 3 times.
Oh, wow.
'Cause it wasn't like, "Oh, free for all, come whenever you want." So I bet all of them, because some of them, like, don't go into a job, or like West is, like, literally, like, unemployed half the time they're shooting this, like, I bet they can't stay at that house unless Bravo's there filming them.
True. Like the contract, like, or the lease is probably with Bravo, to be honest, or
Yeah.
whatever production company they were using.
Yeah, so I'm like, "Oh my god, that beautiful house just sits there. Why doesn't anyone actually go and kind of maybe go on a Thursday and stay?" Or like
Or
they
like
all
go up
come
a
down on
day
Sunday. I'm
early.
like, "Nah, just stay on Monday."
Yeah.
Like if they work
Yeah,
from home,
stay an extra day.
Like, Loverboy, he could probably work on his computer, but I'm like, I
And it would
bet
be
they
so
can't.
quiet.
I know.
It would be so
I know, that
quiet.
house is beautiful, and I've been getting used to this house because I almost, like, forget that they were in other houses now at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That like, I'm used to this house.
Yeah, no, the one during the pandemic was the worst one.
Yeah.
That was a weird layout. And then, don't you think it's weird that, like, we haven't seen Luke pop back up?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Because he was on Winter House even after he was off Summer House, and now he's just, like, fell off the face of the earth making his maple syrup, I guess. Like, and we're not gonna see him again.
I know. I think last I saw he has some girlfriend of whatever. Maybe like it was just I feel like he got a lot of heat when he was on the show. Like, first with Hannah
Yeah.
and then when he was kind of handsy with everyone.
I, like, the last season that Hannah was on, thought that she was crazy, but then I'm like, "No, I bet he was putting her through, like, a Austin Sierra situation, and she
Oh
was
yeah.
that's how she looked crazy."
Yeah, because she was just like it was probably all happening like texting,
Yeah.
like just like gaslighting or whatever.
Yeah, the, like,
Whatever
getting
game she was
close, so
playing.
then you think you're, like, more than just hooking up, and then he's like, "Oh, no, ew, you're not my girlfriend."
Yeah.
All these men are, like, terrified of girlfriends.
Oh yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Like yeah, story of my life.
Like, how do you feel about the West and Sierra situation? Because
So I was gonna tie that in actually with like Paige and Craig because
yeah,
with Paige and Craig, I feel like they know their paths, like and what they want to do so much that it's getting in their way. And I
yeah,
feel like it is also the same issue with Sierra, but I do see why she is not really like going in with Wes. He's very immature.
mhm,
Like just like first of all, he doesn't really have like a job right
yeah,
now, or I don't know if he has the same job that he just got on the show, but and he's very, I mean, immature. And to me, she is, a little bit mature and knows what she wants. And this episode, she says, I want a family and stuff. So I
yeah.
understand dating with intention, but then also like maybe just don't sleep in the same bed every weekend then.
I know, and then the only thing I can, like, down on Sierra is it's like, he's not gonna be your boyfriend at both of your ages if, like, you guys don't, like, sleep once together.
That's what I mean too. Like you're holding out on him, number one, and I don't know if it's because uh, like the insecurity that like he doesn't really have it going for him right now. I don't like want
Yeah,
to like in her eyes, because I think maybe that's kind of what is the roadblock, is the fact that like in this moment he's kind of just chilling and whatever comes his way, whatever.
well, and it's like, if you think he's a F-boy and similar to the
I
Austin
was gonna say
situation,
that.
don't even dip your toe into that. So, at the
Yeah,
beginning of the season, I was like, "There's no way he's like that," but now as time goes on and he's like, "Yeah, I am texting
I'm
other
texting girls.
girls," and then so the after show that I just watched today was definitely like I was like, "Oh, I have, like, a way different opinion about you now." Like, he
Oh,
was just
really?
like, "I don't really, like to have girlfriends," and it's like, "What do you
Oh,
mean? You're,
boy.
like, a 29-year-old guy," and it's like, for me, if you meet someone but, like, let's say you're dating around, like, him or Jesse, but you meet Sierra and you really do like her, then you are boyfriend or girlfriend, and then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least you tried. But
Yeah.
to me, it's like you're saying I'm not special enough to lock me in. You wanna, like, keep your options open, and it's like, that's not very reassuring that I'm, like, a girlfriend for you.
Yeah, I know. I get that too. I just think they're at two different stages. Plus, like, she's got this modeling career now.
Yeah.
So obviously that's gonna get in their way. But I think he was obviously really sweet with her, but she needs to like sleep with him. Come on. Like you gotta know if you
I
got
know. Gotta
chemistry with
test drive
someone
the
that
car.
way. Like, I'm sorry.
I
Anyways,
know.
and it's been all summer. Like,
Well, that's why I'm like, at this point, you're kinda leading him on because, like,
yeah.
it's like a tease.
Like, and for her, like, just try it out then. If you like him, like,
Yeah,
who cares about the no job thing? Just do it, like, and
yeah,
see if it goes anywhere. And if it doesn't, fine. And I get not
yeah.
wanting to get hurt, but I just feel like right now she's got the upper hand anyways.
Yeah, so when they went horseback riding and had that serious talk, he was like, "If Thanksgiving was tomorrow, I'd bring you home." But then it was like, "But, like, I don't wanna be, like, serious and, like, tied down right now." And I'm like, "That doesn't even make sense." Like, you're, like, contradicting
Yeah, you're
yourself.
saying, "I wanna bring you home to my family,
Yeah.
but"
But I
mm,
want you to be my girlfriend, and it's like, "Well, then don't let me meet your family because if, like, I like them and they like me, then that's, like, a whole other
yeah, and that's
debacle."
just a whole different, like, ugh, the whole family, like, going to meet family thing, like, it's too
Yeah.
early. They haven't even hooked up like that. Let's you
For
know?
me, it's like I can tell they like each other, so I don't know why either of them is, like, overcomplicating and thinking it.
Exactly, like, I mean, but I really do think this career thing is stopping Sierra. Like, first of all, hers, and then him not really having one.
Yeah, he did get a job, though. I think it was the last episode or the
He
episode
did, yeah, he
before.
jumped in the pool, like,
So he
naked.
got a new job. So, I mean, I feel bad too. He's not, like, just like a bum, like, his position got eliminated, I think.
Of
Like,
course, like, and,
so
like,
I feel bad, and I was like, "Oh, it's not like Carl who paid for a career coach and is still, like, not doing anything, but I
I
think he's
know.
terrified to death for Lindsay." It's like on one hand, she's, like, shooting everything down, but then on the other hand, she's bitching he doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But
"Well, you kinda, like, made him quit his job at Loverboy."
she did, I remember, like, she did pull him in that direction, and then now it's like, "Go get a job."
Yeah. That would be the part where I would bang my head against the wall. It's like, "What do you want from me?" Like
Yeah, I know.
because she kinda stopped I didn't realize she stopped doing her PR stuff and she just
Yeah.
influences, which, like, that's a job, it's not sometimes a career.
Yeah,
Do you know what
no.
I mean? Because it could stop tomorrow, whereas your
Yeah.
PR firm is more career or, like, if you would work for a company that's more career.
Yeah, of course, it's just more stability.
But I get it, they're riding I think all of them ride this train that they know could stop.
Yeah.
It's like, if brands are coming to me, why wouldn't I do this right now?
Mhm. I know, and then there was that episode where Carl was, like, mathing how much she's making compared to
He's like, "I only made $70,000 a year for
yeah,
the influencer," and I don't know what they all get paid on Summer House, but I'm sure the 2 of them make a lot because they've
'cause
been
they've
there
been
day
on
one.
for
Yeah,
years. Yeah.
yeah.
My question about Summer House is these parties that they throw, like, where do they find these people? Are they their friends? Are
I
they
think
just
they're all their friends.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then they have a lot of friends.
Yeah, I think they all get, like, maybe, like, "Hey, each of you could invite, like, 5 or 10
I just
people."
don't really see them really interacting with anybody else, obviously, probably because the show doesn't care for anybody else,
I
but
know. 'Cause
that's why
you know how when they walk in, they'll be like, "Oh, hi," like, you could tell they're going over to their group of specific friends, and, like, they definitely wouldn't want randos there.
yeah, yeah, I know. Well,
Like, "Oh
that's
my
why I
god,
was like, they're
imagine if,
paid
like, your
actors.
friend got cast and you get invited." I'd be like, "Yes."
I know. I know, right?
Just because they would all look like, all the parties look so fun too.
They do, and they're wild, and then, like, what also kills me is their Amazon packages, the pile up.
I know. Okay, so this is my thought too, because sometimes they're, like, not even bringing them in.
I know.
And I'm like, "Why are they just sitting there rotting?" So then I'm like, "Are those the house owner's packages? But why wouldn't you drag them inside?" Like, sometimes it'll be the whole weekend and the
And it's
packages
just
are there, and I'm like,
there.
"Are those the same ones or are they new ones every day?"
I know. And what are in the boxes?
I know, I think they definitely get stuff sent there that they're using for the weekend, but
Mhm.
then I'm like, I wonder if some of them send stuff there instead of their apartments.
Oh,
'Cause
true.
it's, like,
It's just
easier to,
easier.
like, get it at that door and then bring it home in those SUVs that Bravo provide them.
Yeah.
But
Those big ones.
speaking of SUV, how about Carl on this episode freaking
Just
zooming away
leaving.
from Lindsay?
That's something
She's like
my dad would do that. My dad does
she's
that.
like, "Yeah, I'm not going, back with you, I'm going to doctors," and then she's like, "But take my luggage." That was a little, like, shitty, like, it's like, "Oh, I need space from you, but, like, take all my shit back with you alone."
Yeah, like
But then it's like, why do you want her to be in the car with you alone? Like, that is the weird part. I feel like when they argue, he wants them to still stay together.
yeah,
And
and
it's
she
like,
just
well,
wants to
maybe let her hang back. But then I felt bad he had to drive home alone. I'm like, well, maybe West or Jesse could ride with you.
yeah. I
And I
know.
feel like he was lingering around the house waiting for her to say, like, "Oh, are we ready to go?" Or like, "Oh, I'm not going with you." And then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, yeah, let's go and do that restaurant." And then he's like, "Oh, okay, so you're not coming back with me?" And it's like, you could have left a long time ago if that was your plan.
Yeah, exactly. You could have said something a long time
And
ago.
then he zooms off, and Lindsay's, like, carrying her suitcase down, and I see him backing up.
That
I'm
was
like,
brutal. And then
"Oh."
Wes is like, "Let me get that for you, baby girl."
Yeah.
And then Jesse's like, "Ooh, that's bad." Like, because I guess they were outside or something. I remember.
Well, because Danielle has that little Mini Cooper. It's like a bigger Mini Cooper. It is the four-door, but still, like, 3 girls and all their suitcases, and then sometimes I'm like, "Why do you have that big suitcase for, like, Friday, Saturday, half Sunday?"
I know. What are you carrying in there?
Well, and I'm like, "If no one else is staying in the house, why can't you leave some clothes there?"
Yeah, true.
Because I feel like that's why I feel no one uses it during the week, because I think they do leave some stuff there.
Yeah.
Because when they come at the beginning of the season, they bring, like, a lot.
Oh yeah. Like they're packing.
Yeah.
Like they're staying. But
Yeah.
that's why I'm like confused because it's like every week they drive up. Like, why just not stay?
I know. I know. Well, remember during the pandemic, they had to all stay and not leave
I can't
for,
remember.
like, that whole
Oh
time, and I'm like,
yeah.
that's why everyone was going
They
nuts,
were
because it
stir
was like,
crazy.
"Get me out of here." Like, they couldn't eat or go anywhere, and they all couldn't go home and back, or else they couldn't have filmed it, because it's like they
Oh
couldn't
yeah, they would
potentially
have to
been,
do
like,
the
exposed and got
testing.
sick. Yeah. So they just hoarded them all in there for, like, a couple of weeks, and I'm like, that would have been rough.
You know what was crazy? Like here when the pandemic started, Big Brother, my brother had a friend who was on the show, like Brother Canada.
Oh,
And
really?
like basically like it's when the pandemic happened and they had no idea. So like the world is just like blowing up around them. They eventually got sat down by like production and were told, "You're all going home. This is what's happening." Like, but they were all like, "What?" Like, because they were all just kind of in their own little world.
Yeah. Did they get to finish the show?
No, 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 no. Well,
No?
no, no, that season they couldn't. No.
So did it ever air?
It was airing because at that point, like that's when Big Brother would do it live, like weekly kind of thing. It's still they still do it like that,
I
but
don't watch Big Brother.
I
Okay.
don't either. But my mom and my brother do. But so he actually just had a close friend who was on the show, so it was just interesting getting that insider, like how they had no idea on the day that production sat them down, like they thought the world was ending.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, that would be crazy.
Right, like because they were put into it like maybe 2 weeks before the pandemic, like it was like March 1st.
Yeah, because they don't get to, like, use their phones and stuff,
Nothing, yeah,
right? Yeah,
not in
see,
Big
I don't
Brother.
like that. Like, I'd rather be on, like, Bravo where it's like you're still living.
Yeah, yeah, like you could share your picture, like look at my phone.
Yeah, like, I don't know, that would be weird to me, especially because I have kids, like, if I can't have my phone.
And just like that like communication like cut off
Yeah,
from the rest of the world, like what.
yeah. I'd be like, "I swear I'm not texting anyone info about the show. I just wanna talk to my people."
I just want to go on Instagram.
Yeah, they probably use, like, a landline to call home, I guess.
Yeah, because that's like an infringement on your human rights. They can't just be like, no, you can't talk to no one. Like,
Yeah.
on the show, they make it seem like they're like your family's writing you letters and stuff, though.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
You
That's so
know,
old school.
I know, like if you win a challenge, you get to stay in like a nice little fancy room, and then like you get to open up a nice letter from your family.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I know, but it's like it's crappy for everybody else who doesn't win.
Yeah.
Because like their family's not writing them letters.
I know, could you imagine if they did have them do, like, games to win stuff on Bravo?
Oh my
Like, it's
god.
already, like, cutthroat and catty.
I know. Well, they
Then
have
they become
Top
people.
Chef, which is pretty. That's the only competition show I think Bravo really has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Jesse and West being the
Oh
new
my god, their bromance. I love it.
I know, like, when he was talking about his cancer scare,
I
because
know.
no one else knew at the moment in the house, and West comforting him, like,
Oh,
that's a bromance.
so I like on my list. I put their bromance, Jesse's balls.
I know, I mean, I guess he's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think he's
Like,
fun. But
we
this
won't
the it's
officially
hard to
know the
watch.
show till next week, but it's like,
Yeah.
I think he is okay because I think we would have heard if he wasn't.
Yeah, for sure. But ugh, even just like the Jesse scene with like his mom, the before and after, like I can't even imagine. Especially like twice he had cancer. Like it's not just one time. Like
I know, he's so young.
I know, crazy. And like he's an average build, like you would never think like he looks healthy. Like
Yeah,
you just would never guess kind of
I
thing.
know. I
And
know, and
twice.
they say usually, like, once you get out of the 5-year mark, you're pretty good, so for him, when it's, like, shy of 5 years and he feels something, that had to be really scary.
Oh, I know, but I loved their bromance. Like Wes was just there for him, and I loved the scene when Sierra and Wes were horseback riding, and he calls him, and then Jesse's like, "How's the date?" And Wes is like, "Who cares?"
Yeah,
He's
I
like,
was
"It's
like,
fine. Who
"Okay."
cares?" I
Yeah,
actually like, yeah, because even she was like, "Who cares?" Like, it was
yeah,
cute. Like, I liked that. Like, who cares about the date? Like, what's the
yeah.
news?
They could be like a throuple.
I know he kissed her, or they kissed. Remember, Wes,
I
can I
know.
kiss Jesse?
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah," and then sh that's when she was like, "Oh, my boyfriend's so cool."
That's why I was like, okay, but like, so meh.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like, you kinda gotta put out for him to be your boyfriend,
I
sorry, like
know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like to me, like that's just so important. Like to make sure that I know I have a connection with somebody, I gotta at least do that.
well, and
You
it's
know,
like they're older, it's not like they're in high school.
it's true. Like where you gotta like hide or find a place. Like
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, honestly, at this point, even since they, like, I guess, never made it to the boyfriend-girlfriend title, it's still gonna be awkward if it doesn't work out at this
Yeah.
point. So it's like you might as well just try and be boyfriend and girlfriend because
How
it's still
old
gonna
is
have to be,
Jesse?
"Oh, we're gonna have to, oh, he's 29."
Oh, I thought he was
And
like
is she, like,
23.
33 or 34?
I think yeah,
Or,
like
like,
30. Yeah,
32-ish? She's
30-ish.
only a couple years older than him.
Why did I
Yeah,
think he
he's
was
29.
23? Who am I?
Oh my
I'm
god,
thinking
can you imagine if
someone's
he was
20.
that young?
Well, maybe that's why I have this idea that he's just like a little F boy with no job. Because
Yeah.
I thought this whole time I thought he was 23.
Yeah, no, I think they said in the last episode or the after show that he's 29.
Oh, okay, okay. So maybe the 3 is like the age difference. Like maybe they're 3 years apart.
That would
Maybe
make
that's
sense.
yeah.
And
Sorry.
it's like, well, girl, if you think he's immature, it's because 'cause you're, like, interested in someone that's younger than you. You gotta go older.
Yeah, it's true. But like I love them together. Honestly, I really do. They're so cute.
I know. I
I
think they're
didn't
both
feel that.
overthinking it. Like, she's overthinking it with, like, like, "Oh, is this gonna be my husband? Because if not, I can't try."
Yeah,
And
it's
then
so
he's
true.
overthinking "Oh, should this be my girlfriend? Like, I don't really have girlfriends." It's like, well, obviously you like her.
I know.
It's like they both have, like, annoying doubts that are, like, putting it in the way,
I know.
to me.
It's so true. It is true. They just need to
Because
try it. They just need to do it. They
yeah, like I said, at this
literally do
point,
it.
it's gonna be awkward next season, even if it doesn't work out, even if you didn't make it official because you had something and now you're not going to.
Yeah, I know. And then I feel like it's gonna be like Sierra was Austin in that situation,
Or like Paige and Andrea.
Oh my god. He was
Like,
so
that has to be a little weird for, like, Craig to
I
be
know.
around him.
Hasn't he been around? I think he has.
Yeah, and they're, like, friendly, but that
Yeah.
just has to be a little weird.
I know it is weird. It's
Because
definitely weird.
Paige was like she was, like, really liked him.
Yeah, she did like
Yeah,
him.
I mean, who
He's
wouldn't? He was quite easy on the eyes.
I know, he really was. And his little Italian accent.
I know,
And
and
then he
he's
brings
getting
them
married.
like cappuccinos every morning. Oh my god, please.
I know.
So
But see, even he liked Paige, and he was like, "Oh, I'm texting other girls," and it's like, "Why
it's
though?"
it's like guys this day and age, honestly. Like I swear, even like my dating scene in Toronto is the same thing. Like these guys just don't want to put a label on it. They think they're always gonna find something better. Honestly,
Which is insulting.
it so
It's
is,
like, "Well,
right?
maybe I'll find someone better than you too."
Yeah, exactly, right? So,
I know, and New York has to be like, I'm in a smaller state, so New York has to definitely be these guys meeting you and like, "Oh, I could find someone better."
yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's like, look what happened to Tom, though. He thought he could do better than Ariana, and look how that turned out.
I know. Look how she just like the glow up. It's unreal.
I know. And like now Raquel has him in court, won't even talk to him, and she's still annoying. Like I was like,
And she's
I
still
don't care if she's an attractive girl. No, like she is annoying because at the end of the day, you still have to hang out with the person.
yeah, it's
So you
true.
can't base it all on looks.
Yeah, like you gotta like them.
Yeah. Whereas like Tom and Ariana actually like enjoyed each other's company up until that happened.
I know. It's so crazy.
But see, that's the scary part. How old is he? And he's thinking there's like better fish in the sea.
He's 40, I
I
think.
know.
Yeah.
Like him and Kyle, they're like,
Same age.
yeah.
Schwartz. Yeah.
And it is sometimes it's like you guys are acting the most immature.
Yeah, like they've got little Peter Pan syndromes.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw a post, speaking of Peter Pan syndrome, I saw a post of West like recently, and I swear to God, I thought it was Shep.
Really?
I swear it was Shep.
Oh
Like
my
I
God.
saw it a few times, like just like on my feed, and every single time, I'm like, is that Shep? And then it was West. I'm like, no.
Yeah, his like look is weird. Like West isn't like ugly, but he also doesn't like I'm not like attracted to him.
I'm not either. I just think maybe what makes him attractive is like how much he doesn't care
Yeah.
because there's something hot in that.
Sometimes his clothes are like, I'm like, this is so mismatched.
Yeah, or like just very rap star.
Yeah. And I didn't really like Jesse at the beginning of the season because him hitting on Paige, I was like, ooh, you like know she has a boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah. That
Now I really like him though.
yeah, I
Because he
know.
just seemed too douchey at the beginning, like, oh, look, you could like drink beer out of my chest. It's like, oh my God, go away.
I know. And then, but even him with like, I'm trying to find a girl and just the dating every day kind of thing, trying to
Yeah.
find something better. Like it's just all the same.
See, for me, I'm like, as long as the girl agrees with that, then like, do you? Like Sierra calling him a trash bag. I'm like, that's kind of mean because if these girls are on Tinder or whatever too, and they're going on lots of dates, like, would you call them a trash bag?
It's true, right? Like people are just out here trying to find their person.
And I don't think he sleeps with all those girls.
No, but like I mean, just going out every night kind of I guess puts
Yeah.
this idea in their head that first
I
is
was like,
dinner, next is dessert.
is he paying for all these dates? Because that's expensive too.
I want to go on a date with Jesse.
Maybe he could sing to you.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Did you see his brother? This is like so mean to say, but he was in the audience last week of Watch What Happens Live, and I'm like, oh no, Jesse is the attractive sibling.
Oh no, I
He
didn't
was
see
not
him.
attractive. He was
Oh.
like a really ugly version of Jesse.
Oh, I gotta do some creeping.
I was like, oh my God, the brother's probably like, oh, he's more attractive, and now he's on TV.
I always think that, especially with like twins, because there's always a cuter one,
Yeah.
or like even say if it's a brother sister twin dynamic, like either the brother's hotter or the sister's hotter,
Yeah. Or like one's like, yeah, in the limelight and the other isn't.
Yeah.
I know. I wanted to what was I just gonna say? Oh, I wish they would put cameras. This is like random, but like in the cars. I've been watching Jersey Shore a lot.
Oh, me too.
And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, we get a lot of the good footage when they're in like the Uber.
Wasted.
So I feel like they put it when they go up the drive. But like when they come out of that club, why don't we have some camera footage at 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah, it's true. Like when
in the
like
car.
Snooki like getting where what was it when Angelina threw a chair outside the club.
We have to derail for a second and talk about that. Like Angelina's so annoying.
She is, but like I love and hate her. I really do.
Cause I'm like, we could probably still have a little dramatic points without you. She's like excessive drama that I'm like,
Yeah, like
I'm
not
not
ready.
Well, she acts like she doesn't want to be there. And I'm like,
Yeah,
girl, this is your life. Like you have no job. This is your job. Like you need to be there. Cause it's like for me, when she's always like, oh, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to go do that. It's like MTV will just like fire you.
they'll just axe you.
And then what would you do?
And then that whole wedding debacle.
I know. That's what I mean. It's like everything's got to be like dramatic.
And imagine like that being your wedding day. Like, especially like say for Chris, like that's his wedding day too. Like,
I know. That's why she never keeps these guys like the Vinny 2.0 that's on right now. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna run.
He is
They're not
running.
together. Yeah, they're not together now.
Yeah, he's running. She
So it
has
is weird too,
yeah.
like real time. It's like Summer House, like we're watching Lindsay and Carl together, but like we know they're not.
Yeah,
Like you
see, like
can't help it with real time.
it's true. Like we're say with Vanderpump, it kind of exploded all around the same time. I think like
Yeah.
when Scandival happened, I think they were like they just wrapped. Yeah, so it was real time basically.
Is that crazy? So they picked up cameras for that. Then they did for Beverly Hills. Then they did for Summer House.
Oh yeah, with Carl and Lindsay.
Yeah, so this is like a trend.
So I don't really listen to podcasts, which is hilarious because I'm on one right now. But I listened to the Lindsay and Nick Vale one.
Oh, me too.
So that was interesting because like like the narrative is like she's gonna say I'm blindsided, where it's like he called production.
Yeah, and the whole blindsided part is like I thought we were gonna watch the season and they were getting along,
Yeah,
and then like to me that's blindsided.
that's what I mean by like when we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah. So it's
Like
like, you should know that this isn't working out.
yeah, because now we're all going to come to this understand, especially that we have like even his parents' perspective in like of all of this
Yeah.
too. Yeah, like we see it unfolding, so we understand why it ended. Like so, at first we had no idea,
Yeah.
we're just kind of blindly choosing sides, but it's interesting when it unfolds,
Yeah.
after seeing like something like that where it's oh yeah I call production, but mm-mm.
I know, which that is a little crazy.
Yeah, how do you call production like the day like he knew what he was doing.
Oh, I know, and they were, like, sleeping in so they were already sleeping in separate rooms. It's like, you're not even married.
I know that's so bad. The fact
That's
that like
so
okay, you know what? Maybe like going to couples therapy before getting married just to maybe like learn some tools, fine. But if
yeah,
you're having like because if you're going because of like issues, kind of like what I mean by that is like how about Kristen and Luke? Like, they're just kind of doing it
yeah,
like
that's mature. That's
preemptively,
yeah,
right? Where they're having issues, these two. Like the and
yeah,
this episode though I really did see a different side of Lindsay. Like I really did see the mature side. I really did
yeah,
see her trying to practice those tools that they probably learned,
yeah,
and I did see him have a freak out.
yeah. Her and her Amish outfit
Yeah.
for the boat.
Yeah.
Paige was like, she made buffalo dip, 2 pizzas, cookies, all while dressed as an Amish wife.
Yeah.
I like that the girls are all getting along too.
I know I like it too because it was really annoying last season when they were all
I know.
just fighting.
That's why I was disappointed with Vanderpump that I was talking to Val about. Like, I really thought it was gonna be, like, girl power,
All
and then
this
instead,
season.
Lala totally derailed on me because I'm like, "You of all people, you always wanna relate it back to, like, the Randall thing."
Yeah,
Like, I thought she would have been the most sympathetic, and she didn't even like Tom Sandoval.
I
To
know.
So I'm like, why are you going against Ariana? That's, like, pretty shitty.
I think she's just has nothing, no leg to stand on anymore, basically, Like,
Yeah. I think she's going where the wind blows the money.
yeah, exactly, And then her little nothing about her, like, how long did you think about that one?
I know, and she used it twice, and so the other day, they did their, like, soft opening for something about her,
Yeah.
so I put nothing about her has turned into something about her.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I didn't like that when she said that because it is a business, it's just not open yet to the public, but
I
it's
know, and
still a
she's
very much an alive business that they are spending time and money on,
mhm.
opposed to you just sitting and I mean, no, like, shit talking, but it's like, you don't do your makeup anymore, I don't think. So it's like you just sit and do your podcast and you sit and do your Amazon Live.
That's it.
Like they're doing something that's a lot different that could fail. That could like they're spending all this time and money and it could fail because no one's coming to buy their sandwiches.
Yeah, it's like they're more brick and mortar, obviously, like which is obviously more risk, right? Like
Yeah.
Lala, I just don't think has a leg to stand on anymore.
I know. I feel like she surrounds herself with, like, yes people too, like the assistant, her brother, her mom. They,
Yeah,
like, yes her to death, and you can tell she's used to that. So if someone doesn't agree with her, it's like she's not used to it.
yeah, so she gets in, pit bull mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. Well, this was so fun
It
having you
was. Yeah, I
on.
know, thanks.
And we're gonna leave off with my favorite question. If you were on The Real Housewives, what would your tagline be?
Alright, so my tagline would be, "The secret to reading a room is the right pair of shades."
I love that. I love that.
'Cause
Everyone's are getting so good when I ask them.
I can't really take credit for it, like, it's really hard to, like, talk about yourself, so I asked a few friends, and
I love that.
it was a little bit of broken pieces, me putting it together.
I love that.
Yeah, but I think I mentioned earlier, like, I always say at work, like, "Read the room." So,
Oh my god, no, that's a good one.
yeah.
I know, I have to think of one for myself.
Right now on Instagram, mine is a table flip away from being a real housewife, but if I
Oh,
was a real housewife, this is
that's cute. That's a cute little quote, though.
yeah.
Well, tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, okay. So you can find me at Color Us Bravo on Instagram. And that's where we have our weekly printable coloring page subscriptions. Me and Val do the colorings, or she does the drawings, I do the colorings, and we're just a cute little duo.
I love that. I know, I definitely wanna get some stuff from you guys, and maybe we'll talk about a little project doing me.
Oh, I know. Oh my God, let's do it.
See
And
what
we
girl
should do like an episode, us three.
Yes. No, oh, I would love that.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
need to do that. Alright, well, this was so fun. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so fun. And you
Yeah.
popped my podcast cherry.
Oh, good. Oh my god, I did for Val too, she told me.
Ah, there you go. 2 in
I
1
love
week.
that. Oh, I'm popping it more than Sierra is on West.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
As always, this was so fun, and you could find me on Instagram at Bravo T with the Stay at Home Mom, Spotify, and Apple. Till next time, see ya.